Here we're going to go over the JLT cold air intake install on your 2018 Mustang GT. Tools needed are going to be a clip puller, pair of pliers, 5/16 or 8mm nut driver, Phillips head screwdriver, regular screwdriver, T20 Torx, 10mm socket ratchet and extension, and a 15mm socket ratchet and extension. The thing we need to do is remove the strut bar. There's a little wiring harness stuck on the passenger side here. Just pry this up. Walk that off. Go ahead and remove this battery cover. You just twist these clips and it pops up. There's one. So this one's already been off and replaced with something that's not factory. We'll have to do it. Find that one. Remove all nuts for the strut bar. Okay, now we need to remove the engine cover. Take a flathead screwdriver, pry up these covers. You've got 10mm nuts holding it on in the front. And it's got little ball sockets in the back. You lift up on the back evenly. Same with the middle. First thing we're going to do is remove the stock PCV line. Pull the little gray tab on both ends, and that comes off just like that. Go ahead and take your pliers and remove the squeeze clamp here and pull the sound tube off of the stock intake. There's a pin that's holding it to the shock tower here. I didn't have this in the tool list in the beginning, but it does help. You can use a pair of pliers or a screwdriver. And now we're going to show you the easy way to get this out. There's a 10mm nut that's on a very long bolt down in the firewall. That's a real pain to get out. I'm sure you've read about it online. But it's just held down with a rubber grommet. So we're going to go ahead and yank it out. And I'll show you what happens. This is what's in the firewall, and this is just a rubber grommet around here and the nut that's holding it on. So now that's still on the car, so you don't lose the nut and the grommet, and we get it out without any struggle. Okay, this is the cap that's included for the firewall. We call it the firewall plug. I'm going to go ahead and get down in there and push that in. It's a weather tight plug. It's really tight and it's an awkward position. You just got to kind of get in there, get one corner going, and kind of work it around with your thumb. It's a bear, absolutely.
Two hours later.
Unplug this line here, push in on this black tab, and pull. On the bottom of your mass air sensor is a pull tab. Slide it out, squeeze, and pull it off. You can work this off right here, this little harness plug. Then we're going to go ahead and unbolt it at the apron. It's a 10mm bolt. And loosen the clamp at the throttle body with a regular screwdriver. It also will take a 7mm nut driver. Now you can take the whole intake out as an assembly. First thing you're going to do is remove the mass air sensor from the stock airbox using the T20 Torx. You are not going to reuse these screws. The JLT kit comes with its own screws. They are a M4 by 10, so you do not want to try to put these in there. So you don't, just go ahead and put them right back in the stock box. We're also going to need this location grommet. As well as this insert and rubber grommet here. Go ahead and take that grommet that you pulled out of the stock box, come in from the bottom, put that in the JLT airbox. Along with the metal insert. Now we're going to take that stock sensor and put it into the JLT. Grab your screws and gasket. Line up your gasket. Sensor is going to go with the open port towards the filter. And go ahead and screw that in. Take that rubber location grommet, put that in the hole in the apron. Now take the airbox, lower it down into position. There's a stud on the airbox that's going to go into that grommet. Take the stock bolt and bolt it down. Okay, now we're going to slide the fresh air duct to meet with the inlet on the grill. You can get your hand in the front and you can kind of guide it. And once you get them touching each other, kind of reach in from the inside. Get it to maneuver around the duct itself. There we go. Now you can see there's two studs on the top of here. We want to go ahead and push this down, get it further on, and get it locked in so it doesn't come out. We've got one stud on either side. Now we're going to go ahead and assemble the intake outside of the car. Just makes it a lot easier. Go ahead and put the coupler on. Get one side started, work it around. Go ahead and get the clamp on, just leave everything loose. Go ahead and open the filter up and get that on. Now we'll go ahead and bring it over to the car. Alright, go ahead and take your assembly, bring it over to the throttle body, get the coupler lined up on the throttle body, give it a couple of twists, bring it down into the heat shield, and then fully seat the coupler all the way to the back stop of the throttle body. At this point, you can tighten up the clamp at the throttle body, but leave the other ones loose. Go ahead and get your other clamp lined up. Now this is important. The 18 GT has a very low hood line. You want to get this tube as low as possible in the car, in the heat shield and in the car. So you're going to get this down. You can see how this comes up, and the tube is molded specifically for this. Otherwise, if you have this too high, you can come in contact with the hood. We'll try to get a side view here and see how it's sitting. It's a lot lower. If you see yours is higher, go ahead and get that down. And then go ahead and snug it up. I'm going to take this line here, bring it down below and plug it in. Take your PCV line, plug that back in. You can twist these fittings in the factory hose. Take your mass air wire, plug it into the hole in the heat shield, and go ahead and plug it in to the sensor and lock it.